Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing the bridge mani from this plate M276 for Maniology. We're going to use this image right here, and I have some other plates that I'm going to be using as well. For my base color, I first painted them with white, and then I will save this one to show you guys. I just did a little bit of a smudge because I want it to have like the effect of sky/water. So even though I already have a white base down, I went ahead and added a little bit of some white. And then I added LA Colors in Splashy. Okay, then I kind of smudge them around a little bit. Can always add more if needed. And it is going to look sort of rough right now, and that's okay. I'll show you what I did. I'm going to put just a little pinch more of the blue. Now I'm just kind of smashing it down to get it kind of laid down better. I'm going to give that just a minute to dry. Okay, now I'm going to take, excuse me, my clear coat, and this is just going to like smooth it out. Kind of just melts it together. And make sure to wipe off your brush so you don't get the polish in your bottle. So this is how it is right now. Now I'm going to turn these around because I want the thicker area of the nail so I can get the more of the bridge on there, because these, go thinner towards the end, so I wouldn't get as much bridge if I use that end. And as you can tell, I typically paint my images this way so other people, when I'm like this, can see them. Yes, I know I've got to get these redone. I'm gonna get to that. But yeah, so I typically am painting this way anyway, just I don't normally in the videos, but I'm going to this time. Now, first of all, for this nail, I'm going to take this plate for Maniology M470, and I'll be using these two images here. Now, they don't have a space for reverse stamping, so I will just be laying them on there. So what I'll do is I'm going to try to use Color Vibe and Pink Haze to put on the flowers, and I'll do this one at a time so that I can place them where I want. But I'll put this on the flowers, and then for the vine part, I'm going to use Maniology's Evergreen B315 and place down. Now, I can always add more pink once it's laid down, if it needs it. And this is a mini that I'm recreating. It's one of my favorites I ever did. So I'm going to swipe this direction. So yes, I will end up going back through to add more pink to the flowers, but this gives me the placement of them, so that'll help me with that. Now I'm going to go over to this one, and I think I'm just going to grab the top one as flower wise. Also, if you're interested, I've posted on my community post an update for some Halloween releases if you're interested. This one I'm going to swipe down. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to go ahead and add more pink to the flowers here, if I can get it on my brush. I'm going to come down with this one because part of the green didn't get on there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and grab the bridge image. I will be using Maniology Straight Up Black. We will be reverse stamping it. Now when I did this on my own nails, I didn't get this very top part because my nails were too short and I really just wanted the bridge. But with these being longer, I'll pick it all up and kind of decide from there. Okay, then I'm gonna set that aside. Actually, that one image is why I even got that plate. But I'm glad I got it because I really liked it. Okay, now I'm going to take Elm 373 and I'm picking up the lily pads. Hold on one second. Yeah, I was trying to think. I'm going to have to, I'm going to grab this section here, and then I'm going to also pick the cattails up separately because I want them on the opposite side. Take off down here. All right, cleaned off, grabbing the cattails. Yeah, there's little tiny something there. Let me get that off real quick. Okay. Now I'm going to take this image, some part of this image here. Let me repick it up. I'm going to pick up more of it instead. Okay. Okay, now I'm taking plate M466 for some of the dragonflies here. Now, I'm probably going to pick them up separately because if not, see how close these two are together? I'm going to end up getting both of them on the nails versus just one of them because I want to put them in certain ways. So I'm going to start with this one right here. Okay, and then I have to take off. Just turn it around. Trying to also, like, you can, if you start around your actual image, because it starts to dry, if you get what's right around it, first, then you can always tend to the ones that don't real, that are down here that aren't really going to matter. You could get those off with tape if needed. There's one. Okay, let me grab the one right above that one. Okay, let me flip it. And if it dries before you get it off of there, trying to use your scraper card like I'm doing, then just get some tape. It's that one. Okay, I'm going to attempt to get this one on the same stamper as this one. If I mess up, I'll just have to redo it, but I'm going to try. Okay, let me get that off. All right, there's that one. And I may come back to some of those plates. I'm going to go ahead and get started on some reverse stamping. Also, if you were curious, this card is from last year's Halloween. I got it. They had put their ice cubes on sale, and so I'd got some for reverse stamping, and so these came together. But they have a new one out this year. Okay, so I'm going to grab Maybelline's Tropic Talks. Because I may end up going ahead once this dries to place it down, because there's different I'm placing things on the same nail. That way I can tell where I want to add those images. So while I do this, we can have story times. So it started storming earlier, and it was thundering loudly, and one of my dogs is really scared of storms. Mostly the noise. It's really just noises. And so she hides, and she has a few little hiding spots, and so of course I try to comfort her best I can, and I don't like storms either. So here's where story time comes. So, like when I was little in elementary school, because of where we are, they would always have tornado drills, and all the time, like, and you'd have to go to the hallway. I don't know if, I'm sure maybe they still do it. I'm sure they do. Um, and you'd have to put your head between your legs, bent over. Everybody's all curled up side by side like that. And it felt like you had to stay that way forever. And it was like so uncomfortable. And it was whether it was a drill or even if there was, say, a tornado even somewhat nearby, which is safe, I get that. But it was like all the time. Let me grab this real quick. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for these leaves, and then I'm going to do a different color for, of course, for the tops. And so we've always had storms, but I don't like the sounds either. And you never know like what to expect, and they can be scary. But so when I was a teenager, I had a boyfriend at the time. So we went with some friends that were new friends to us. And I'm trying to think if I'm gonna make that, I might make that lily pad. Let me see. No, I'll leave it. That's okay. I was thinking about changing colors. I think I'm gonna leave it. But anyway, so a storm had come through. We were, okay, this is crazy. So we had went to the lake, and there was a bridge, and we were under the bridge, like swimming and stuff, like the whole group. And well, I was more hanging out because I don't know. Sometimes the waters, depending on where you're at, creep me out because you don't know what's in them. But everybody was under there, and then all of a sudden the storm comes through. It's like the wind picks up. I'm gonna go in with LA Colors Nudie, and the sky don't look right. Starts pouring rain. But right before, for some reason, me and another girl were on top of the bridge or close to it. I don't know what we was doing up there, but so then all of a sudden, so the storm came. Maybe that's what we were doing, looking at the storm. I don't know, but it started hailing, and and it hurt. It was hitting us. So one of the guys we were with came up the bridge and got her and took her under there. Well, it was hurting, so I was hunched over, and nobody come to get me, including my boyfriend at that time. And so I had to kind of just suck it up and get myself to get under the bridge again. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that green to do these lily pads. So I finally make it under there, and guess what he was doing? He was under there flirting with some other girl. No joke. While I'm up there being hit with some hail that hurt, yeah, he's under there flirting with somebody else. And then it was muddy because so much rain come so fast. I slid and fell down on and hit a piece of glass, and it scratched put a kind of a deep cut on my knee area, and I still have a scar from it. So did he help me with that either? No, he too busy with her. So anyway, yeah, that relationship definitely didn't work out. Thank goodness. Of course, I was sad at the time, and that's something how we do. We're so like distraught at the time, and then later you're like, oh, thank goodness, right? So anyway, as an adult, a few years ago, we had a tornado come through, and we had a tree in our backyard, and it literally, it was like the tree just got the whole entire thing from the bottom, like out of the ground, just kind of laid over between our house and our neighbor's house. And it was only some branches, thankfully, that were hitting our house. And one of them was touching my daughter's window, and it didn't break through. So, but we had to get the roof replaced, and a lot of the town was torn up. But went outside to kind of after everything. It happened so fast, I didn't even know. I didn't have time to think. I had my kids in the bathroom and was trying to get my dogs put up. And before I could even get them put up, it was over with. And I was looking out the window I was like, why does it look weird out there? I didn't know the tree had fallen at this time. And one of my neighbors came and was like, hey, are you okay? The tree's on your house. Which thankfully, again, it just ended up being one of the big branches of it. But, yeah, no, I went out there. Nobody, I don't know how anybody had time to do anything because people was out there just driving around looking at all the damage and power lines are down and stuff. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Anyway, okay, so for the flower, I'm gonna take Color Vibes Pink Case. So, yeah, so anyway, we just had to get the roof redone. And then last year, we had another storm come through, but it was, I don't think they called it a tornado. It was, had a lot of like wind and rain, but it was all of a sudden you could hear pow, 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 pow. And we're like, oh my gosh. It was me and the kids were at home and, look out, and it is the largest hail I've ever seen, ever. And it was a lot and it was big. And so I had to sit there, of course, which, look, it could be so much worse. I'm very thankful. And watched it hit the cars and busted the windshield, put horrible dents all over. Anyway, so from that one, we had to get the roof replaced again from the damage, and it totaled my car, damaged my kid's car. So it actually, a lot of people's cars got totaled, and the dealerships, it wiped out their cars. It was nuts. So here's this one. Now I don't have to color in this water image around because that's why we have that blue on our nail tips. Okay, I'm going to take the bridge image. I'm going to go ahead and do those lily pads and little flowers. But yeah, we had some other damage from it, but it was, everything was okay. So anybody that's ever had like lost lives, houses, all that stuff, my heart just really goes out to you. Scary. So yeah, I don't like storms. Never have. I know, that was a lot of rambling. I'm going to take a little bit of the wintergreen and color in some of this grass area back here with it. And times we've had snow, which we don't typically get. We're not used to it and as much. But when it does and the roads are icy, don't be driving around because nobody knows how to drive in it. And myself included because I'm not used to it. But people will be out there sliding around and like, oh my gosh, just go home. Okay, I'll take a little bit of the Tropic Talks and do a little bit of this top area here. Okay, I had already started because I had some of that polish already down, and somebody drove by with their boom boom, and my dog does not like boom boom. I don't know what it is, but she doesn't like it. Actually, that's the same one that doesn't like storms. So it's definitely noises. Okay, I'm going back to pink haze to color in the flowers. I don't know if that one's supposed. Oh, I guess that is a flower at the top of it. Okay, now I'm taking Nudie and we're gonna color in the. Oh, made a mess. Color in the bridge. Let me turn it this way. Nope, I'm not. Something it made it harder for me to tell what I'm looking at. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit of the blue to the water. I wasn't going to, and I don't believe I did the first time, but just to make sure that it'll all look like water. Let me show you what I'm, because I think I'm switching nails. I was going to put it on this other nail, but to fit the whole image on these, I think I'm going to do the thumbnail, but some of it has more white. So I'm just going to put some of this. And it's okay if there's like bare spots. Don't really, because since there is still some blue on the nail tip, you wouldn't have to do this if you didn't want to. I'm just doing it. Okay, and I'm going to lay this one aside. Okay, I'm taking the dragonflies. For their wings, I'm going to use a gold. This is Pure Ice in Goldilocks. I used, I think for my first time I used artichoke for Miniology because I did it on my own nail, so I used my stamping polish. So I'll use gold. They're somewhat similar. Artichoke is kind of like a goldy gold with a green tint is what I'm going to call it, which I can show you here in just a minute. But I like that color. It's real pretty. Get a little bit more. So you should see it more once it's on the nail come through. Okay, there's artichoke. But it's got more of a green tint to it. Bronzy, greeny, gold. I know, sometimes I have the weirdest description of describing things. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. So, like I said, on my real nails, when I did it, they were shorter, so I had like a wider area to work with. This one being thinner at the bottom may not get it all on, but that's okay. I'm adding some things to it as well. But I'm going to get this on so that I can kind of see what else I need to add or where to add. So I'm going to let that dry just for a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to place it about right here. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and place these cattails here. And yes, it's okay that for them to be on the other lily pad. So definitely want the brown area on there. Okay, now I'm placing this dragonfly down here. Now I'm taking one of the bottom dragonfly here and I'm going to place it here. Okay, now I'm taking this one and placing this dragonfly. I've also picked up a separate one because I'm going to need another one. Okay, I'm going to place these lily pads. Okay, I'm going to be adding these two extras. I'm going to reverse stamp those and I'll be back. Okay, there's those two. I'm going to let them dry. Okay, I'm also going to go ahead and add another of the flowers. Actually, I'm going to do this one. I think it's going to fit better. I really wanted the long part of it. Okay, I'm adding this dragonfly to that image. Okay, I've grabbed 2 more dragonflies, reverse stamped them, and we will place those down in a minute, and we're about done. So I'm going to add these cattails. Okay, I'm adding one of the dragonflies down here. Okay, we're adding one right here. And we'll be placing our bridge image. So I'll show you individually and then I'll show you together. So we have this one. This one. This one. Has dragonfly down here and up here. And then we will place our bridge image. Now I can take just a little bit of blue. I have some still over here. I'm just going to touch down over here to get a little bit more blue on there. Just this bottom part. Okay, I've also noticed real quick, I'm going to take the evergreen color, and there are a couple leaves actually that could be colored in. I did not realize. Okay, that's better. And then I saw one more. Where'd you go? Okay, this one. So this right here, where it's open right here. Part of them is a vine, so I'm going to leave that part. But if it looks like a leaf, open leaf like that, is coloring it in. Like this part's of a vine. This is one's a leaf. And a little tiny one right here. Okay. I think that's supposed to be one right there too. Okay, and then we have our completed look. You could do any touch-ups you want. So like right here, I see a little bit. I need to add some blue where I went in the bridge a little too much. So I'm just going to do that real quick, just so y'all can see what I do. A little bit more. It might be better to put a little white first, but this at least gives y'all the idea of what I'm doing. Because I kind of went over that one too far with that brown. But this is one of my favorites. So I'll show you real quick. Pulled up my picture here. This was my original, my first one. in the recreated one. I think it's a lighter pink on, or no, it's the same pink. It just turned out darker on this one. So I had the bridge image. Y'all can't even see. But it was on a different finger, and I couldn't fit so much, like I said. So this one I could. And this one was kind of like this one. This one is kind of like this one. And on this one it was like this, but I added the cattail instead. So yeah, I really like it. It, of course, takes time, but you know, if it's something you enjoy and want to do, you can do it. Well, if time permits, I understand. Sometimes we can't. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to my crazy stories. Any products I've used for Maniology will be listed in the description box if you're interested. Thank you so very much, and until the next one, have a blessed day. Bye.